Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll show you a body horror film, DRASUE Inhuman Kiss. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. Sai and her little friends live their carefree life in a remote, tiny village. In the village, there has been a legend going around about a flying human head hiding inside a chest at the village abandoned house, which Sai and her friends think is just a manufactured story. One night, a bunch of kids run to the forest, playing hide and seek near the abandoned house. Sai hides inside that house and discovers an open chest there. She goes to take a look into it and finds it's empty. While turning around, she sees something really horrible. Years later, Sai has grown up into a sweet teenage girl and works as a nurse at the local health center. Handsome has adored Sai ever since he was little, and she sees how he feels about her. But her heart yearns for their childhood friend, Noi. However, as part of the adolescent love triangle, Noi left the village for Bangkok long ago. Recently, the villagers live in fear, since a monster named DRASUE has been devouring their poultry. With the animal corpses mounting, it's hard to hear the sound of a rooster crowing at dawn. Sai's father, the village chief, tells Sai that DRASUE is a female demon, whose head will be detached from her body, to look for fresh meat at night. Meanwhile, he asks Sai to make sure to lock all doors and windows before bedtime. One day, when waking up, she finds it strange that the window is open, and the sheet is stained with blood. In addition, she has a rash on her chest, and vivid flashbacks about a fearsome creature in the abandoned house. Worrying something is wrong, Handsome agrees to accompany her to the abandoned house. On the way there, they meet Noi. Sai is happy, and greets him with a warm embrace. Standing beside them, the bitter Handsome starts to feel jealous of the intimacy between Sai and Noi. A group of DRASUE hunters follow behind Noi. After showing some disembodied human heads, the leader of the group tells the villagers a DRASUE has come to the village. He says a girl possessed by the DRASUE will live like an ordinary human, but after a while, the demon inside her will take over to hunt the living things. A DRASUE can possess women through saliva. But if a man swallows a DRASUE's saliva, he'll be in terrible pain, and even dies while he can no longer endure it. Afraid that the outsiders are in fact bandits, the villagers only allow them to encamp near the village. Later, Noi tells Sai what happened to him. His parents were killed by the explosion in Bangkok, so he comes back. When he told a group of DRASUE hunters the old legend from the village, they decided to follow him here. The next morning, after waking up, Sai finds the sheet is covered in blood, and the window is open once again. Moreover, the erythema that appears on her chest is more severe than before. Learning the neighbor's cattle got eaten up by the DRASUE last night, Sai slowly comes to realize she is probably possessed by the DRASUE. Handsome isn't suspicious of those hunters at all and joins them, following them to patrol in the village at night. Meanwhile, he specially reminds Sai to secure all the doors and windows before bedtime. One night, as her whole body convulses, she transforms into a DRASUE. Since there are no animals left in the village, the DRASUE targets a baby. In the open air, once seeing the glowing red head floating around, the hunters raise their guns and fire. At last, they scare away the monster and rescue the baby. Quite by accident, Noi sees the monster flying through the village, and quietly follows behind alone. Then Noi notices he finally comes to Sai's house, and finds out the horrifying truth that Sai has become a DRASUE. They look at each other with a look of fright, not knowing what to do. Noi flees into a nearby temple, turning to a monk for help. Then, the monk tells him the DRASUE origin story. The DRASUE is a kind of monster that has existed for centuries. They were once humans who practiced black magic, but their spells backfired, and they got cursed. The female is called DRASUE and the male is called Krahang. Once getting a smelly kiss from the DRASUE, a girl will get possessed. Until now, there is no antidote to the monster's smelly curse. Noi gets no other choice but to either kill the possessed Sai or protect her. The monk tells Noi to do what his heart tells him, and Noi decides to protect her. Therefore, he tries to prepare fresh chicken for Sai's inner demon, and consults many medical books to look for a cure, but still finds nothing. 1 month later, the monk finds out a cure from an ancient book. There is a plant called DRASUE herb that can temporarily prevent the bodily transformation and control the demon's desire to feast upon fresh meat. However, no one has ever seen this plant, and there is no record of what it looks like. One day at the hospital, a little girl gets infected by drinking Sai's leftovers, and transforms into a DRASUE that night. At last, a creature gets killed by the hunters. And the leader removes its heart, laughing like a maniac. As the little girl has only been to the hospital, the leader suspects Sai is a DRASUE, even secretly following her. Sai thinks it's her fault that the little girl lost her life, feeling guilt and even suicidal. But Noi encourages her to find the cure. Later, Sai says she once had a dream, in which she saw something weird near the abandoned house. Behind the abandoned house, they find there is a wide area of glowing DRASUE herb. After swallowing a small tuft, Sai doesn't transform that night. They are so pleased by that, Noi can no longer contain himself and kisses Sai. While they both enjoy the smelly tongue massage, the leader and his gang get there as well. The fact that Sai falls in love with Noi makes Handsome insane with jealousy, and he and Noi start scrapping. But Sai runs away. While passing by the abandoned house, she suddenly stops and remembers what happened to her that night when she first went into that house. That night the mother DRASUE gave her a smelly kiss right there. With the whole thing coming back to her memory, she transforms into a DRASUE. When the leader is about to kill it, he is stopped by Handsome. Then, the monster plunges deeper into the woods and comes back to its body after a while. The next day, the villagers find the hunters are all dead. Actually, last night Sai's inner demon went into the forest to kill the hunters. The leader tells the villagers Sai is a DRASUE and his gang perished at her hands. Therefore, the angry villagers rush to Sai's house, pressing her. Thanks to the DRASUE herb, she shows up like her usual self, and tells the villagers the leader attempted to rape her in the forest last night. The leader asks Handsome to testify for him, but Handsome takes Sai's side, saying the same thing as Sai said. Then, the villagers drive the leader out of the village. The leader is outnumbered, so he has to escape immediately. But he comes back to attack Handsome at midnight. Lastly, Handsome is badly bitten and covered with blood. With more and more significant erythema found throughout the body, Handsome begins to mutate. Actually, he has been infected due to the curse cast by the leader, who is actually a Krahang. When Sai almost exhausts the DRASUE herb, Noi goes to collect more herbs, but finds the field of DRASUE herb has been completely destroyed by fire. Actually, it is the leader who set the fire, and he is awaiting the transformation of Sai, attempting to get the proof and eliminate her. Later, as there is no other way to break the curse, Noi suggests they flee to Bangkok to seek modern medical help, and Sai agrees. Coming to say goodbye to Handsome, Sai is sad to see he has turned into a Krahang. Handsome tells her he has been in love with her after all these years, and knows she was a DRASUE from the very beginning. Actually, he joined the hunters to obtain information and misdirect them. But he had not expected things would turn out this way, and pleads with Sai not to go. Rather than holding and comforting him, Sai doesn't know what to do. Before leaving, Noi meets the monk once again to ask him more information about the Krahang. Originally, the Krahang and the DRASUE were a couple. But the DRASUE had an affair and ran away with her human lover. The Krahang was so furious that he killed the DRASUE and removed her heart. Then, the first Krahang's wrath was inherited by every generation. From then on, a Krahang's lifelong goal is to kill every DRASUE and destroy her heart. The leader tries to manipulate Handsome, saying the girl who he has been protecting doesn't care about him at all. Handsome gets more and more irritated and turns into a Krahang with a long tail. On the night Sai is to leave, she is dragged to see a film in the open air by her father. Without the DRASUE herb, she transforms in front of the villagers. In the chaos, Handsome flies to the sky to catch Sai's head. But right before Sai is destroyed, Noi stands out from the crowd and rouses Handsome from his wrath, saying it is Sai, their best friend. Seeing Handsome can't bear to kill Sai, the leader decides to do it himself. But Handsome blocks the way and grapples with the leader. Seeing the angry villagers damaging Sai's headless body, Noi wields the cudgel and manages to snatch Sai's body. Meanwhile, the result of the battle between Handsome and the leader is foreseeable. Handsome is no match to the leader and gets killed. Then, Sai has to face the leader, but the monk shows up in time, shooting and killing the leader. Meanwhile, the monk says the mother DRASUE that tongue massaged Sai was her wife. When his wife turned into a DRASUE, he fled with her into the abandoned house and hid her head inside the chest. Since the demon inside of Sai harbors her wife's soul, he doesn't want Sai to die. So he urges Noah to take Sai away, as the villagers will eventually kill her. When they get aboard the boat, Sai cuts the rope and asks Noah to leave alone, since her body has been destroyed. Suddenly, Sai's head gets shot and she is killed by Handsome's angry father. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Peace out.